streaming. We're going to see when it begins. Test. Do I have to be fully live? Am I fully live now? I want chat. I want to make sure chat is working. Hello. Ah, here we go. So your chats are showing up. Excellent. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Late night Q&A stream. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea. What's everyone doing? We're going to be doing a Q&A while we build an R32 GTR in Need for Speed Heat. I'm going to open up the stream on my phone so that I can read your chat as that takes place. And you can also give me feedback on the R32 as well. Because why not? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone is having a fantastic December. Okay. What we're going to do is that it's basically going to be a... Let's get this ready. Badoop. Badoop. Bam. All right, here we go. Let's begin. We've got an hour to do this. I thought it was 40 minutes for some reason. Just ignore the black BMW. There's absolutely no reason why we're driving a black BMW. Let's begin. Let's also turn down the sound. Setting the sound to 50. Is that okay with you guys? But why today? It's 8:52 a.m. 8:52 a.m. Yeah, just ignore the black BMW. There's no reason why I have that. If only the devs had made a separate forged engine for the R32 RB26. Agreed. Agreed. So how are sound levels? Was the sound okay? Could you guys even hear me when it was at max volume? It's a good thing to check, I suppose. Yeah, it's Need for Speed Heat. We're going to be doing a livery design while we do a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, Need for Speed related, Fast and Furious related, car stuff, this is PC. Sounds working fine. Ayy. So just a little bit of, it looks like Xbox because I like using Xbox controllers. But it shouldn't matter because they have crossplay compatibility now, which is cool. I don't have the graphics maxed because when I turn it up, for some reason, my computer starts glitching out. And it's not perfect 60 FPS, which triggers me, for lack of a better word. I hate the word trigger. I don't really want to use that. We're just going to have to make do. So my inspiration for this design for the R32, while you guys are thinking of any good questions you may have, is it's supposed to be kind of clean, but, you know, satin white. And most of my inspiration for the livery is from the Japanese rising sun design from their flag. So you'll see what I mean, obviously. R32 is cool. I am actually like 50% tempted to actually buy one. They're pretty expensive right now, but you never know. If you think these graphics are bad, Play Cyberpunk 2077 on PC if you think maxing this game will make it run bad. Is it like playing Crysis? Oh boy. I need to start stacking graphics cards on this PC, even though this PC is kind of on its last legs. Because I've only got one GTX Titan right now. And it's the Titan X, but you know, 5-year-old technology. Nearly 6. Order a Skyline from Japan. Well, I have to... I'll probably do it through Top Rank. I'll probably just get one that's already in the US. What are your thoughts on the Dodge Viper GTS-R concept 1996? Dodge Viper GTS-R concept. Let's take a look. Dodge Viper GTS-R concept. Ooh. This is interesting looking. I feel like I've seen this in a video game before. The back end is a little strange, but from the front it looks really cool. The R33 is very cool. I do appreciate a good looking R33. I like the R32 just a little bit more, but I'd be willing to let you guys decide between R33 and R32 if I were to actually get one. Oh, the Skylines in the USA do definitely cost more, but I think that also accounts for not registration, shipping and all that, and people trying to really raise the market price. It's pretty lame. We all saw it coming, and we're still annoyed about it. It was featured in a few Gran Turismo games. That makes sense. Hey, Neptune Walker. What's up? Well, everyone likes the R34 the best, but we're still waiting for that. I was thinking about more like, in the meantime, getting an R32 so I can have an RB26 in the stable. Because inline sixes are fun. And single turbo, and twin turbo as well. But single turbo is fun. The Viper GTS concept, because isn't the Viper GTS in Hot Pursuit 2? Just chilling this Sunday morning. It's 9:29 in the afternoon for me. That's funny. R34 has been legal in Canada for a long time. Well, I mean, there's the non-GTR R34s that don't go for a whole lot of money. But obviously I want to get an actual GTR, and depending on how much money I have at the time, whether it's 2024 or 2027, could determine what trim or badge I end up getting as well. This is Need for Speed Heat, Keith Miron, or Myron. Sorry if I said that wrong. This is Need for Speed Heat. Well, that's what I mean. 5 years ago is pretty recent. What did I say, actually? No, now I don't remember what I said. It's 11:20 a.m. for me. I'm in a country near Singapore. My country is called Malaysia. I've been to Malaysia. I lived in Singapore for a year. Most skylines aren't that special here in New Zealand. Well, that's what you tell the police when you're in New Zealand. There's a lot of very interesting skylines in New Zealand. My understanding is that in New Zealand, when you're building cars, a lot of you guys tend to do stuff yourself, like by hand, which I think is very impressive. Skew the rectangle to give the angled look. Well, I didn't think of that when I was doing this. GTR R35 is cool. I've ridden in a stock one that had rolling anti-lag. That's a sentence. A stock one with rolling anti-lag. It was stock except for the rolling anti-lag, and I think it might have had upgraded intakes or something. Best moments in Singapore, Malaysia. Anytime I tried new food there, to be honest. Ignore the BMW in the background. Actually, I think I'm covering it up, so it's fine. It was just a very interesting place, a very, very busy place. I lived on Orchard Road, very expensive part of the country, and a lot was going on. A lot of delicious food, a lot of interesting people, a lot of people from all over the world. Yeah, there are not a lot of GTRs in New Zealand, but they're one of the countries that can have them. Actually, I think most countries can have them. 7:31 p.m. here. That's a lot closer to my time. We're 9:32 here. I saw an R34 here in San Diego last year at Big Euro SoCal by Qualcomm Stadium. I can believe that. There's a good handful in the U.S. Some legal, some vaguely legal. Not 100% sure on the hands thing, but we do work with a lot of old 70s, 80s V8s, so probably true. Lumox Jr. In New Zealand, that's just the impression I got. A lot of cars that I've seen personally in New Zealand or from New Zealand, I don't know why I said that, is just that there was a lot of like hand-built, like custom welded by the owner of the car, like built, like truly built by themselves. I feel like there's a bigger culture of that in New Zealand compared to other places. Obviously, people in other countries do make things themselves, but in New Zealand, that felt really prevalent to me, which I think was kind of cool. The Aussies are nuts, man. They've got all kinds of crazy cars there. And they can get in trouble just for being caught driving them, as far as I can understand. Nissan GTR 700 horsepower. Now that's a pretty good number for a GTR, especially if it's like an early model year. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything. If I've missed a question and I haven't answered it, you're fine to repeat it. Which do you think is more underrated, the C110 GTR or the R33 GTR? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if the R33 is necessarily underrated so much as just made fun of a lot, in the same way people make fun of Mustang drivers. Like, everyone knows it's a good car, but no one's going to admit it in a Facebook comment thread. So personally, I'd say the C110 is more underrated. Like there's probably a good chunk of people that would look at that and go, "Oh, that's a GTR? Well, that's cool," and not really realize it. It's rare to see an R34 here in the Philippines. I can see that. Yeah, it's heaven of food because it's a multicultural country. We're talking about Singapore. Well, because Singapore is the country with a lot of billionaires and millionaires live in Singapore. That is very true. A lot of people going there to avoid taxes occasionally. But, yeah, lots of crazy cars there. Car tax, though, like, it is so expensive to own a car in Singapore. Like, owning a Toyota Corolla is like buying a Porsche, if you want to do a direct conversion. Yes. What box?
My desk.
Oh, your desk. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyways. Joker, hopefully you make your BMW car because I'm planning on making Razor's Mustang, but in a 2016. So kind of like, you don't have a Mustang. Your car is very nice. Shh, they don't know I have that yet. They don't know I have that yet. It's a surprise. Yours is very nice. Yours has Bluetooth. Mine doesn't. It's very annoying. I have nice wheels. I think my wheels are made by BBS. No, mine's black. Yours is white. We're going to really confuse my audience with this conversation. They can't even hear what you're saying. Mine are chrome. Which makes them heavier. What? No, I thought you cared because you keep bringing it up. Probably mine. Although I probably wouldn't want to race it. I don't want to break anything. Uh-huh. I think you'd be better off in automatic, actually. You'd probably shift better. Are you okay? Oh. Well, stop being cold. I'll be ugly in your face. Can I please get back to what I'm doing? I am live. You distracting woman. No. I'm trying to answer questions. Warning, do not buy the R35. It isn't a good platform. What are you talking about? What do you mean not a good platform? I am going to throw something at you. I need to find something soft, otherwise you're going to kill me. Okay. Can I go? Can you go now? Can you go? Yeah. Can I go? Yeah, where are you going to go? I'm going to go for a drive. I don't care. Bye. Bye. Peace. Go away. You go away. I can't. I'm sitting down. Oh my God, you're embarrassing. Well, that too, but I wasn't going to say it. Sunrays have different wide... Cars that rarely are in Malaysia. I'm going to have to catch up with chat now. This is fantastic. Marriage. For those of you who have seen Princess Bride. We can count them, but Evo's... Yeah. Meanwhile, in Michigan, we can have blown Chevelles with drag slicks and nobody cares, and people do burnouts from car shows like it's no biggie. Well, that's Michigan. If I tried to do that in Illinois, in certain parts of Illinois, that would not work. Under the classic car clause in Michigan, just about anything is street legal. What's the best body kit for an R34? I'm going to say C West, but Nismo without the fender flares is pretty good too, obviously. You can use a triangle and stretch it. Michigan sounds like a good place to have a night out. Yeah. Every 20-year-old here owns a Scat Pack Charger. A Scat Pack would actually be pretty good. It's a good car. My recording software, so because it's an NVIDIA graphics card, I have the NVIDIA GeForce Experience, and I just use what was originally called Shadowplay. For editing, I use Final Cut Pro and iMovie. Scat Packs are cool, especially the wide-body ones. I think wide-body Challengers actually look really nice. Nissan GTR R33, 845 horsepower. Well, that's a lot of mods. I'm 30 and I own a 2000 V-Spec GTR R34 New Zealand. That sounds about right. I remember watching a video of a yellow one in New Zealand. Lightning yellow. Not a super common color. Bluetooth is a must in a car because auxiliary wires can't be used. Well, this car doesn't have an auxiliary plug anyways. Personally, I like the KRC kit. So what you were saying about the 2016... So the 2016 Mustang RTR is kind of like the one in 2015, because... Do you remember that expansion? I can't remember what it was. Is it the Legends DLC where There is a Razor Mustang. It was a 2015 with the RTR Spec 5 wide body kit. Something like that would be really cool. What's your opinion on Daily Driven Exotics' Bayside Blue R34 GTR? I think that car is really freaking clean. And it sounds like they're going to do some pretty basic stuff to it. Which I think is the smart move, considering it sounds like Damon doesn't want to make it extremely unreliable. So I'll be very curious about what kind of exhaust system they're going to go with, because in my opinion, when it comes to the twin turbo setups, you have to really mess with the front pipe the most to really change the sound of the exhaust. Otherwise, you know, because a catback just makes it louder and slightly changes the tone, but you can always tell it's a twin turbo car. But if you start messing with the front pipe, it's a lot more dramatic. Warning, if you're thinking on buying a car and don't have one, wait for 2030, because around that time gas-powered cars are getting banned. Well, it depends on which country or region, because that's what it's going to be for the EU, right? Thoughts on how EA buying Codemasters could change NFS 2021? Well, isn't that because they can't find any people to work for them? I mean, I don't think they didn't explicitly say that the Codemasters purchase was to develop Need for Speed, right? Because they already had the Criterion people. I don't know. It's a pretty weird and concerning and sad thing. I like the R34 Nismo kit with the tall stock wing. It was a Japan exclusive. Tall stock wing. What do you mean? Like the OEM wing, but with higher like strut mounts or whatever? I'm literally playing NFS Heat right now, waiting for a race to start. "24 people are watching right now." This is just, it's so much better than Twitch. And you don't get DMCA'd all the time. I mean, copyright is still pretty bad on YouTube, but, you know, could be worse. Could be a lot worse, apparently. Twitch has shown us that. Okay, I think I've caught up. I like that comparison. A nice GT500 from 05. I always like the look of the GT500 from 2011. I filmed one, if you guys remember. If any of you watched the videos that I took of all those muscle cars in that collection. Those videos didn't do quite so well, which was kind of a shame because some of those cars were very nice. Road tax in Malaysia. It counts every liter of CC of the engine. Isn't that the same in... Does anyone here live in Greece? Because I think... Isn't that the same in Greece, where if you have a certain displacement of engine, there's like some sort of tax or restriction? Uh... 1997 Toyota Supra Mark IV. It's a cool car. But a lot of people prefer left-hand drive over right-hand drive. I would be willing to drive it in right-hand drive just to save myself like $40,000. And plus, is it VVTi? I can't remember what it is. Isn't it like after a certain model year, the Toyota Supra 2JZ is updated and has like something called VVTi or something like that? I know very little about 2JZs and all the different iterations, so I'd have to ask you guys. Didn't know people still played this game. Yeah. I know what you mean. However, the opposite is true in Japan. Buying a Chevelle over there is like ridiculously expensive. Yeah, but there is a huge culture of muscle car enthusiasts in Japan. It's pretty big, actually. And they still kind of customize them in this JDM sort of way, and I think it's really quite fascinating. I really want to visit Japan sometime, but, you know, the world needs to stop being sick. NFS heat is wasted potential. It definitely is. It totally is. That's what my final thoughts of NFS heat video was basically all about. Now, I'm not going to be doing any online stuff today because I've actually got a mod installed, running, it's a trainer, so that I can show you how to make pursuits fun and not terrible. I'd love to see cars like the 1971 Charger and the 2006 Dodge Magnum SRT8. Dodge Magnum. I've never heard of a Dodge Magnum. Their fascination with our cars is like our fascination with Sky. It's all about, you know, grass is greener on the other side, or a version of that, you know. It's just something that is less common there, and it creates this demand for it. Albeit it might seem kind of artificial, because we just want it because we don't have it. And it's more expensive here because we don't have it normally. And muscle cars are more expensive there because they don't have that normally. That's just how it works, I guess. It's weird. It's very weird. Nowadays, it's much more normal for manufacturers to produce cars for every market, or almost all manufacturers, not all, most. If I didn't say that, I think I did. Do you need a? No, I already answered that. Not just the road tax is expensive, even import taxes here. 105% of the car's worth. 105? Ugh. That's Singapore levels of expensive. Buy Toyota... I can't speak. Buy Toyota Supra Mark IV 2JZ 6-speed. I'm not buying a 2JZ car anything until I drive an RB26 car. That's just the rules. I'm going to drive an RB26 first before I drive a 2JZ. Because everyone in the US usually drives a 2JZ first. I'm going to do the RB first and let that be my baseline. Because it might give me a unique perspective, or it might not make any difference at all. But we're going to do that. That's the plan. Don't go online or you might be banned. Most of the stuff in my inventory should get me banned, but it never does. Look at my money. I have $11 million, and it's obviously not legit. All right, because the grinding system in this game is terrible. I have a Nissan 350Z with the Rachel body kit when it's not supposed to have it. I have an Aventador SV on the right. That should get me banned, but it doesn't. Love to see Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005 to be remastered so badly. I just want there to be a PC release of the patch that was made for the last Xbox 360 version of the game, where it's HD, different textures, and the map's a little different. I just want that, but for PC. The final version of the Xbox version of the game for PC. That's all I want. If they want to do another remaster, that's fine, but I don't really necessarily care. I play this game sometimes, not too much to do that now. I'm at rep 50. I've been at rep 50 since the first week of playing this game. Look up the 2006 Dodge Magnum SRT8. All right, let's do that really quick. Let's see, 2006, that's 26. 2006 Dodge Magnum. It's a gun and a condom. Oh, that's the Dodge Magnum. I see those all the time. I'm just an idiot. Okay, Those are cool. There might not be a Most Wanted 2005 Master, although it would be a remake. Yeah. A Dirty Skyline R32 goes for a couple grand in Japan. Well, that would be a really bad condition one, though. I don't know. I would advise against touching that unless if, yeah. Warning, do not use cheat engine. That's what I used to get the money. I used it to give myself $25 million. This game gets kind of boring at rep level 50. This game gets boring the moment you finish the story, I would say. All ultimate parts, story, modded out, almost every car. You don't even, you need, someone did the math. It was like, it needs like, you need like 10 million, and you can build every car in the game, and you have cash to spare. Top of the RB26 can up to 2.8. I heard recently HKS Japan because that engine response is great. There is a 2.9 liter stroker kit out there somewhere, but I can't remember who makes it. It's for the RB26, not the RB30 or something like that. Ever seen that Impreza with the 2JZ? I think so. Probably. I don't know what RCR is. Are you going to do other Fast and Furious car topic video? Yes. At some point. Grinding is very bad because they want us to pay with real money. Well, there's no way to get stuff with real money in this game. It's just that the grinding system is terrible. It's because when you do a race, it will reduce the reward so that if you repeat it, you just get less and less and less money per win every time. I honestly want a Pro Street sequel or remake or master. If I have to do another Pro Street Let's Play, I am going to do it drunk. Because that game drove me insane. That game made me nearly break my Xbox 360 controller. So, I can get an R32 in Japan? Yes, but you'd have to do it either... When you're getting a car in Japan, you do it the same way as any other car in any other country. You have to find it at a dealership or through the auctions, which is what a lot of people seem to talk about, even though that's not the only way you have to do it, and it doesn't always guarantee a good deal. I'm just sticking for top rank. When it comes to Skylines and anything true JDM, I just stick with top rank because they handle a lot of the nitty-gritty details that I don't have to worry about, so I never have to figure it out. They need to do a remaster of Underground 1 and 2. I'm about to start recording my Underground 1 Let's Play. I just need to install the game and do the widescreen patch. It would be interesting if they remastered that, but I don't know how they'd go about doing it, you know? Like, I can't imagine the game's engine can take a whole lot more. But I'm not happy. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know why you just said that. Context. I just want Need for Speed 2015 remastered with actual daylight. I want Need for Speed 2015 remastered with a decent handling model, or to be given the handling model of Heat. And then I'd be tempted to do a playthrough of it, you know? I started one on my old channel. There's lots of licensing issues for the Most Wanted 05 remake, but it would be cool. That is true. I mean, there were licensing issues for the Hot Pursuit remake. And that didn't do very well. I don't hate 2015, but it is the most disappointing out of the 3 Ghost games. What I said earlier about licensing issues. The R34 GTR M-Spec Nero with Millennium Jade auction is 262,000 euros. What? There was a... They hit a record price, but I can't remember what it was. Was it $286,000, or was it more than that? I know the person that bought the car. They bought it for a customer, but I know the person that did that. They bought 2 M-Spec Ners. 2 of them. And they're just going to get stored somewhere, probably. And they're just going to let them appreciate or something. Cool WRX. Did you check out my edits? You'd have to DM me on Instagram or something. I'm not gonna remember your name. I'm tired, you guys. I mean, I just got back from work not too long ago. SR20 DET or RB26 DETT powered Silvia S15. That's a good question. Well, I mean, if I get the S15, it comes with the SR20. I feel, you know what, with the Silvia, any of them, I think I'd rather have the SR20 just because that's probably the only time I'm ever going to mess with that engine. So I think I'd keep the SR20 powertrain just to experience it, because that's probably the only way I'm going to get to. RCR is regular car reviews. Okay, thank you. That just didn't connect in my brain for some reason. I wouldn't say Pro Street is bad, I just suck at it, and it's very frustrating. It's very unforgiving. Search Proton Wyra convert to Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 3. Pro Street's fine. Well, it's the speed races. Yeah, those are the ones that are super frustrating. Pro Street was easy for you. Well, you got nerves of steel. I just went insane instantly. Okay, now we're all just talking about Pro Street. Nevada. Yes. Pro Street drunk gameplay. Why did I say that? Okay. I'm low-key new to Need for Speed. I hated Payback. Payback was weird. It wasn't terrible, but it was weird. You could tell what it was going for, and it was a little bit too like obvious on the surface. So it was kind of immersion breaking most of the time, and just wasn't very... Like, when you ignore the story, it's okay. But when you ignore the story, you realize there's very little to actually do in the game, and it's very disappointing. Not a lot of... Like, when you're building... Once you've got all the cars, what do you use them for? You know, you need something to use them for. Because initially, you're doing races and getting money to build cars. But then once you've got all the cars you want to be able to use them. But then by the time you've gotten all the cars, you've done so many races that you don't want to race anymore, so you need to have something else to be able to do with the cars, or you just uninstall the game because you're so bored. That's the nice thing about Most Wanted 2005, is because you can race, get a cool car, and then use that car for fun in like a pursuit. You're less likely to get bored, in my opinion. Shift was better than Pro Street. I haven't played Shift. I should turn my GTR into a drag car. This R32 here. Well, I don't see... in this game, there's no point because there's no drag racing for some reason. Shift was more of a simcade. I kind of appreciate that. I'm not a massive fan of the R35 though, that's the only thing. The run is awesome. The run is like in my top 5 Need for Speed games, maybe even top 3, I can't remember. I'm sure I've talked about this. No need. I'm not reading that out loud. But that's funny. Oh, that's British pounds? I thought that was the euro symbol. What's the euro symbol? Someone put that in the chat for me. It feels unfinished. Heat feels unfinished? It's because it is. Everyone's chill, apparently. When will I do another car topics explain video? I don't know. Sometime in the new year, because I'm busy and I'm very. It takes me forever to figure out what topic I actually want to do. I am working on kind of like another interview, Gotta go sleep right now. Gotta wake up early for work. All right, take it easy. I know the feeling. I feel very tired too. Nice, because we need more chill people in this world. TRJ, I want to drive in the U.S. What should I expect in the roads? Oh, that's a big question. You mean, like, first of all, what are we comparing this to? Are we comparing this to like Malaysia, Singapore? Driving in Singapore is terrifying. A lot's going on there, but driving in the U.S., I would say, is actually very easy. Driving in the U.K. is also pretty chill, because not quite as much traffic as a lot of other countries. There's no speed cameras everywhere. They use police. Sorry, UK and Netherlands. I don't know how you feel. I don't know. It's a very vague question. I don't really know how to answer it. Driving in the U.S. is fine. It doesn't take. If you already know how to drive, it's very easy to get used to it. I would just study up on like simple road rules. Just buy like a book to study off of. That's what I did when I got my license. I just crammed for like a few weeks and then took the test and passed. I really enjoyed Payback, honestly, except for the pretty small map and handling. The map in Payback, I think, was probably the most disappointing part of it for me, which is saying a lot, considering I'm talking about Payback, but the map was like small part of interesting city and then just lots of long, straight stretches of roads and sort of canyons. And that was just horrible. It was kind of boring. Also, I realized NFS gave Miami Mountains. Yeah. I wish they had an R33 in this game. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. It used to be they'd only have the R34. The R32 is a pretty recent thing. Well, actually, no, it isn't. Because the R32 is in Need for Speed The Run, and that came out in 2011? What do I think is better, Driver San Francisco or GTA? Well, it depends. Which GTA are we talking about? Granted, I mostly only play GTA 5, but still. The R32 missed a good mod for exhaust. An R33 in heat would instantly bring me back to the game. Love your videos since 2018. Nice! That's a while ago. Oh, that's the Euro symbol. Been too long, man. Just Pro Street feels unfinished in my opinion. There's a lot going on in Pro Street. I mean, it's got a lot of content. It took me forever to finish the game, in case you guys can't remember. Hey man, stationed in Japan, seeing these cars all the time kind of ruined it for me. Well, it gets you desensitized, so that if you ever get one, you're getting it because you truly want it, not just because you can't have it. So if it's not something you truly want, once you've seen it all the time, then you'll have a better understanding of what you actually like. So it's not too bad. Well, I'm driving on the left side of the road.
Come on, move it, everyone. I want them caught this time.
Processing. Yeah, we do that too. Because of all the replay value of it in the run. I love the Purple Dodge Challenger Daytona. Yeah, the replay value of Need for Speed The Run, it's probably got the best replay value out of the... In terms of replay value, I think it's the best one in the entire Need for Speed franchise. Because it's short and sweet. It's action-packed. There is a lot of rubber banding and scripted stuff going on, but who cares? It's not immersion breaking, at least in my opinion. Thoughts on the Audi S4? I like Audis. I still want an Audi RS3. Can't sleep on Need for Speed Underground 2. That's true, Need for Speed Underground 2 is really good. Gotta go hunt. Alright, see ya, man. Take it easy. questions. What do you think of Toyota's response with its cars in street racing games, and what okay, I'll start with the first one. I remember that whole thing with Toyota in street racing games. I think that their mentality was, if I remember correctly, I think they've kind of regained some of their sanity recently. But they said, we don't want our cars showing up in games because somehow it means that people will be less incentivized to buy them in real life, which, as we all know, is not how it works. And they don't like having their stuff in things that involve street racing because it puts their product in a bad light somehow, which again is not how it works. I think it's just the result of a bunch of old people not understanding how the world works anymore. I don't know. It's pretty weird. You get where they're coming from, but you also get the impression they're coming from a completely different century as well, in terms of their mindset. GTA 5. I like GTA 5 a lot. It's a game I still come back to occasionally, and it's still pretty fun, but I haven't played it in a while. I will. Hopefully the next NFS canyons come back. Canyons have been in, or at least mountains have been. Canyon Duel would be a cool mode. I don't know how they would accomplish that though. There is now Nissan/Nismo program, which lets you restore an R32.
I thought we scared him enough already.
Wait, what? Restore an R32 for a hefty price of $430,000. Oh, hey, my wife's in the chat. Hey, everyone, talk to Monkey. My wife is in the chat. How did I not see that earlier? How far am I behind? I'm 4 minutes behind on chat. Also, I owned an R33 out here, and its body is AF. I wonder how it would actually compare to most modern cars, because most modern cars are a lot bigger now and heavier. The WRX is a pretty big body car. The M4 compared to the E46 M3 is a bigger body car. Everything's just wider and longer. Like when you see an R32 in person, and you're super used to seeing modern cars, you think, wow, that's a tiny looking car. At least that was how it was for me. I was like, oh, that's like a small Honda Civic kind of size. I haven't played Heat yet, but it looks good. It's not terrible. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's definitely to me, it's the best out of all three Ghost games. And I feel like if Ghost had stuck around, the fourth one would have been almost great, I would say. I think you should do a car topic explained on a different movie car like Herbie the Love Bug, Kit, or the General Lee. I've considered doing stuff in other franchises. It's just tricky because the thing is with the Fast and the Furious, information is very, very readily available, or I have literally the phone numbers of people that worked on the films in my contacts. So it's very easy to ask people questions. So I guess I'm just a little intimidated. Because I've thought about doing stuff on, like, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I've thought about doing Kit, I think you said, and the General Lee. And, like, other car movies and stuff. It's just, I've always been kind of intimidated. I'm not going to talk about Gone in 60 million years in their car. Because I don't want to get copyright strikes. Because they're terrible people, but yeah. I'd love an old Audi Quattro wagon. A wagon would be interesting. There's the E63 and C63S AMG wagons. Those with Akrapovic exhaust sound and look very, very good. Didn't think I'd ever like a wagon, but, you know, every manufacturer is able to make something unusual very attractive. Yaris was out now. I reviewed that on Gran Turismo a month ago. It handled like a rear-wheel drive even with the all-wheel drive layout. Okay. NFS 2015 could have had potential if it had better cops, that's no lie, and better handling, that's also no lie. I think it could have been like GTA where they keep updating the game. If there was continued support on these games, they could become very refined masterpieces, but they work on them for a few more months and then they work on the next game, which is just
Snap back to reality. We got the
kind of
back up and running.
just profit oriented, not like GTA has had so many updates. The game has changed so much. It's unrecognizable, but it's a pretty good final product. It's really difficult to compete with everything that Rockstar has done with that game. I remember my first game in NFS Shift. I played it when I was 7 years old in 2009. My first Need for Speed game was Hot Pursuit 2. And then the second one was Underground 2. And those were both on the Nintendo GameCube.
Good news, I found a little racer.
It's not just the R32, they will restore all generations R32 and up. That's pretty cool. I traded that R33 for a GC8 light years different. Ooh, the GC8, like an STI GC8. Those are good-looking cars. The sanity plummeted once more as they allowed their new Super appear in the Fast and the Furious game. What are we talking about? The only skyline I want is the R34. A lot of people can relate to you there. Ghost's problem was trying to appeal to everyone. Yeah, I can understand why it would be tricky to figure out who they should really be appealing towards. They haven't quite figured out how to like what style of game and what things they should focus on and like what things we're asking for should actually be granted and all that sort of stuff. How realistic is the physics of beam engine? I've been watching you for 1 year. I've only been on YouTube for 3 years, since 2017. Pretty interesting. Nintendo with NFS, yeah, that's pretty ancient. I've been sub since fall 2019. Nice! Yes, sir, I love my GC8. Hang out in the mountains here in Japan is so much fun. I see a gaming market crash coming. Oh yeah, the highest auction price for the M-Spec Nerd was sold up to $358,000. I will tell you this, guys. What's probably going to happen with the whole R34 GTR situation is I'm just going to buy one of the 99 base GTRs with the mechanical LSD instead of the active, which is good for high horsepower anyways. And that'll be for, it sounds like it's going to be like for 150 grand. Because if I end up having $400,000, as much as I love the M-Spec Nerd, I'm not going to spend 400 grand on an R34 GTR. I'm going to spend 400 grand on something like an Aventador SV. You know, if I have $400,000, I'm buying a supercar or a house. That's more responsible, I suppose. I do like the Aventador SV. Big oof for R34. It's a whole lot of oof, and it's not done oofing. It's gonna get worse. And the M-Spec Nerd isn't even the most expensive one. It's the V-Spec tuner and all those, and the ones with less than 100 miles or whatever the heck. C6 Corvette or a 2014 Audi S4. I think you'll get more bang for your buck out of the C6 Corvette, especially if you're getting the Z06, because that LS7, is it the LS7? Or is it the LS6? Whatever motor that comes with that car is fantastic. It's the same one in that Z28 Camaro from 2014, I believe. Is it the LS7? Might be the LS7. I don't know. There's so many different LSs out there. They're like Legos. You can just interchange so much stuff in between all the different engines. And they're all pretty good. Oh yeah! Are we doing the Otis meme? What game is it? This is Need for Speed Heat. The M's... Oh, shit. If If I had 400K, I would invest and make secondary sources of income. Now that's the responsible thing to do. I'm not necessarily responsible. Don't expect me to do responsible things. That's not gonna happen. What is my dream classic sports car? The classic sports car.
Jaunting the attention you're giving him. Come on, move it, everyone. I want him caught this time.
That's tricky. I've got a handful of sports cars, all from low-level sports car to high-level hypercar in my list. And the two ones that just popped in my head were the Ford Mustang 429 and the Mercedes CLK GTR Strassen version, or however you say it. Street version.
As well as straight lines.
That M spec had only like 627,000 kilometers. That's a big number. Were you trying to say something else there? Since you've been researching the M3 GTR for a while, how many actual M3 GTR race cars exist, if you happen to know? I tried looking on the internet, but never got a straight answer. I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20. I could ask Herschel. He'd probably have the exact number. There's more race cars than there are street versions of the cars. The street versions of the GTR are rarer than the actual race cars. I can tell you that much.
710, ready for action. Control.
There's a good chunk of them.
Going for full frontal contact.
I remember it being a similar number to the number of Z-Tunes in
Gotta
existence.
step up to keep up with us. Tell them to get going.
Let's kick this chase into high gear with some upgraded patrol units.
None of us.
I don't see the R35 appreciating in value. I don't see that happening anytime soon because they've been selling it for so long and it's been unchanged. And it's just, I mean, they're already more expensive brand new now than they were brand new in 2008, which doesn't make any sense to me because they're not massively different. There's a couple intricate details they've changed and they've made it capable of making more horsepower stock, but like, I don't know if that's worth an extra $30,000.
Next level pursuit vehicle.
What non-racing games do you play? Oh, that's a big question. Lots. I just finished playing Lego Star Wars. There's the Batman games. There's other Star Wars games. There's
Let's block this one.
I guess GTA wouldn't
Requesting some
count.
aerial support to assist.
The Last of Us, the first one, the good one.
Guy, you got him.
Minecraft. That's a big question. Love to have a P1. I like the P1 a lot. LaFerrari is just intimidating to me. I feel like I'd break that. R35 lifespan and issues in long term. The 370Z is very outdated as well. Huh? It doesn't matter which model year you buy it in. It's completely unchanged. 400Z, that's true. Hopefully the R36 will come soon too. It's going to be so expensive though, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. The R36,
Patrol cars too broken to continue pursuit.
if and when they do make it,
Got it.
Shit, that driver busted up every one of his
is going to be a low-level supercar in terms of price. It's going to be nuts.
take down.
Have you played GoldenEye? You know, I might have.
A car like that should be this easy to lose track.
I'm not sure.
Looks like someone lost our target. Get in there and find that car.
Forager is fun. The R36 is coming out when GTA 6 comes out. That's like the good old Half-Life 3 joke. No one thought that was coming out, but everyone would joke and say, "Oh, that's coming out at some point." Yeah, it's definitely in development.
Copy control. Suspending pursuit.
Nissan as a brand, yeah, they're a little weird. They need to think of something. They need to pull something out of a hat and save themselves. Same with a lot of other brands too. How's Mitsubishi doing right now? I mean,
Start searching.
as an automotive enthusiast, Mitsubishi is dead to me. But for just ordinary people, is Mitsubishi good? Like, are they selling well? I don't even know. I think you should do an NFS, an Need for Speed Most Wanted challenge where you beat Razor in the worst car of the game. Well, I don't want to, but I don't want.
Looks like you lost them. I'm calling it off.
That sounds frustrating, but that also the problem is, I've thought about doing that, but that's really similar to Kuru HS and his content, and I don't want to mooch off of his thing. I feel like he's the guy you should go to for that sort of stuff. Not because I can't do that, but because that's his thing. And I don't want to piggyback off of his kind of subcategory of Need for Speed content. You know? Does that make sense? You either die a hero or live long enough to become a crossover. I like that. Mitsubishi is super dead. Hey, I will say this. The 2020 Subaru WRX is a better Mitsubishi Evo than any Mitsubishi Evos Mitsubishi are making right now. That's for sure. Oh yeah, that's true. They don't just make cars. Mitsubishi doesn't just make cars. Wait, is the Lancer still produced with all-wheel drive but not Evo? Sounds like a good point. I don't know, actually. I haven't checked. No, the Lancer is front-wheel drive. Yeah. Ugh. No, thank you. Mitsubishi is selling MPV with... Huh. Mitsubishi does have a lot of branches. Look at Nissan, and its partner in that company is what almost killed Nissan. Are we alluding to... Why am I forgetting the name? Fiat? I almost said Alfa Romeo for some reason. That's not correct. But this is... I would say when it comes to Subaru, the engine, I had never really had any engine problems. It's always been the gearbox, like drivetrain stuff for me. At least with the modern WRX. Like the synchros, the clutch. All of that would just constantly fail. And it was a manufacturer, like a failure on the manufacturer's part. So it's like, that's pretty disappointing. The guy fled Japan in a suitcase. Yeah, well, I remember that. I never experienced the head gasket failure either, my dude. Oh, shit, that's the wrong thing. I never experienced any real engine problems except for the turbo exploding. That was a bit of an issue, but that wasn't... I was under the impression the oil had been changed. The Alfa Romeo 4C is a very beautiful car. Absolutely. It's a very interesting car, too. It's very minimal. It's a monocoque, but it's not supercar price. It doesn't have power steering. There's a lot of road noise. But it's super light and just so planted. I am very curious about how the Alfa Romeo 8C drives, though. The 8C, the V8. I think it's a V8. Basically a V8 4C. What's the difference between a ricer and a tuner? That's tricky. Because now, I mean, there's the very... With the, what is it called? With YouTube and everything like that right now, it's very, you can There's a lot of people that will buy like a supercar, which is a very fast car and not rice in any way, and do a whole bunch of crazy visual modifications and put like a supercharger on it and do that. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you go into AutoZone and buy a bunch of crap and attach like a whistle to your exhaust to make it sound like your car is turboed when it's not, yeah, that's rice, but it's a little blurred. I think the only people that know the difference between rice and tune, where it's super, super clear, is only clear to the people that don't like riced cars. Because when you go to Japan, people that don't like rice are going to have an aneurysm. When they see all the trucks that are there, the muscle cars, the tuners, the exotics with all the strobe lights and big body kits. I guess rice is when you do cosmetic stuff that is cheap and doesn't serve any purpose. Or it's like this just doesn't make sense on the car. Car topic explained on the Midnight Club. That would be interesting. The person I'm interviewing might be able to help me with that. He's just very busy, but we'll figure that out. The Mitsubishi Expander has Evo 10 suspension. What about the rest of the drivetrain? Because the Evo 10 drivetrain was very good, especially back when it was new. That was groundbreaking technology. It would handle better than Ferraris and Lamborghinis, which then was very impressive. Like a wing on a front-wheel drive. So I don't mind wings on front-wheel drive cars, because obviously the Civic Type R has a wing, and that's front-wheel drive. But a wing on like a Honda Civic hatchback, that would be a bit strange. Many Lamborghinis are riced. Yeah, lots of supercars get riced, however you wanted to describe it. How much are the mechanics going to charge to install this header? What header? Header. Why are we talking about headers? Most amateur racers use wing on front-wheel drive for a good case. The Civic Type R is what we call riced from factory. The new opinions on the new M3 or M4. They're great cars. I hate the way they sound. I think they sound terrible. I don't know why. What car will you buy if you're going to build your drag car? If I'm going to build a drag car, I don't think I'm ever going to buy a car for drag racing. But I know what I would get if I wanted to race people in the middle of the night on the highway and like at a 60 roll or something like that. And I would get a blacked out Z28 Camaro, a 2014, with 2 turbos, rolling anti-lag, built, forged everything, and just let that be kind of like a sleeper. And use that to just wreck people. Because I think that Camaro looks so intimidating. That's what I would consider like my go-to car for embarrassing people on the street. E92 M3 looks good. I think the GTS version looks the best. A lot of new cars do have the fake muffler noise. Pontiac Trans Am. What year? I reflashed my Subaru to get more power and speed limit. Yep, the Subaru WRX, by the time I was done with it, had a little over 300 brake horsepower. It was between 305 or 310. The best test would be to drive my car and then drive an actual WRX STI and see if it's any like similar or not. Of course, the ratios and a couple drivetrain components in the STI are going to make it better anyways. Have I ever played Real Racing 3? I have not. I have not. I'm talking about the 2014 Z28. The one with the LS7. Oh, what? Hold on. Let me just look this up. 2014 Z28 engine. Love the look of newer WRX STIs in red. I like them in the dark candy red, like as a wrap, because the standard like 2-stage gloss red is a little too bright for me. Why is this not searching? LS7. It's powered by an LS7. But we have a comedy cars with below 200 horsepower in Malaysia, so yeah, that sucks. In 90s, there's a lot of Japanese sports cars in Malaysia, but they're gone now. What's your opinion on the GR Yaris? I'd have to Google it. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't know if I can really form an opinion based on... Woo! Is it like a hot hatch? Oh, excuse me. I might need to go to bed soon. That's an interesting looking car. 3-cylinder, rally-derived, 268 horsepower. Same as the WRX, but obviously a lot lighter. There used to be Proton Wyros that had the Evo 3 swapped engine and drivetrain. Okay, Proton Wyros. Let's look that up. What is a Proton Wyra? That is a very unsuspecting looking car. What about the Nissan Juke Nismo with the R34 engine? Well, that's just sacrilegious. That doesn't sound right. No offense. Which A86 is better, Levin or Torino? I don't know. Hold on. I mean, the Sprinter Torino is the one I'm familiar with. I don't know. That's a good... That's a good question. Oh, it's all-wheel drive, the GR Yaris? I didn't realize. That actually could be fun as a anything kind of car. It's a Malaysia car. The Juke Nismo had the VR38. What? That sounds insane. Yeah, Malaysia car, Japanese technology. That's Proton's motto in the 80s. Huh. How many viewers do we have right now? It says 37. Good amount of viewers. Overall, are you JDM, Euro, or domestic? Oh, that's a tough question. I think most of the cars I like fall under the JDM tuner category. And then following in very close second, I like exotics. Not necessarily supercars, but I like exotics. And then in third place would be muscle cars. Because I think most cars I'm into are tuners, but then almost just as many cars I like after that are also exotics. Like I love Evos, Subarus, not so much now, but I did previously. Skyline, Supras, RX-7s, Hondas, Civics, S2000s, all that good stuff. But then, of course, I also like exotics. I like Black Edition AMG Mercedes. I like Lamborghinis. I like Porsches more than before. I love BMWs. McLarens especially. Oh my God, I love McLarens. McLarens are so cool. Ferraris. I have a better appreciation for them now than I did before. Koenigsegg's. Those are crazy pieces of kit. Seeing Joker going to watch your NFSC videos. Okay, Z-Round. Yeah, Lanchester. What do I think of Subaru BRZs? I think they're a fantastic platform. But they'd be a car I'd probably be very bored in stock condition. Great platform, but they seem a little boring. I like the older ones more than the newer ones. I think they look better. I am not playing NFS Payback. This was just Need for Speed Heat while doing a Q&A. Speaking of which, we are like 16 minutes past due to finish the stream. So I think we're going to end for now. Thank you all for your questions. And I hope you enjoyed the stream. It was nice to chat. I wanted to give you guys some more car-related content since I realized I didn't have much scheduled for this month. But I've got plenty for next month. Big deal content, too. So stay tuned. And I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Go take a nap if it's super late, or go to work, go to school, study for exams, whatever is going on right now. And happy holidays. I don't get an early Christmas. I'm working Christmas Eve. Bye-bye-bye.